Hi guys, Elena here. So many of you said yes, so here I am starting a video series on my journey to impact. I was born and raised in the Arctic, spent 18 years there, and actually haven't realized how special my childhood was until I started writing Arctic stories and sharing them on LinkedIn. I moved away from the Arctic to study in the university, and back then I already knew I wanted to work in sustainability. Even my thesis was on the human rights and agriculture and what we need to do to help the world. I also worked at a youth NGO. That's how I moved to Belgium as well. I was a country manager here, leading 500 volunteers, working really on social impact and educating youth and providing leadership experiences. And then I joined MasterCard. Spent 11 fantastic years there. Worked on different things, on business development, on finance, on strategy, and in the last years on the merge between the digital and sustainable transitions and how they can come together for a more sustainable world. But during pandemic, I realized how fast things are changing in the Arctic, how important the nature is. I already had my 2 kids, and that at some point I really felt that that's it. You know, I have to make a pause and I have to start doing something that will really be going out there and doing things, real action, real impact on a large scale. Please don't get me wrong, I loved my years at MasterCard. I love the company. It was, and it is still at the forefront of financial inclusion and a lot in sustainability, working together with the ecosystem of partners. And from the outside, it seemed like a perfect fit and a dream job. And people were asking me like, why are you quitting? But just internally, I knew that I had to start doing something different. So I had to be brave, and I took that step. When I was at the point when I realized that that's it, it's time to move on, I also met Frederick Verstraete, who is my partner now, and he's the CEO of C Biotech. And he had such a passionate story and so much energy, and he was just so out of the box. He was so passionate about decarbonizing construction with bio-based materials and cleaning soils from pollution with plants, which really amazed me. That I fell in love with his vision as well. I thought this was incredible. I started digging into statistics. I started realizing how polluted our world is. And I felt really safe in Belgium before. I thought this is an amazing country, which it is. It takes care of its people. There are a lot of opportunities over here. You can live together with nature. You know, I love going on bicycle walks in nature. There are protected areas. Even though biodiversity is quite low, there is still pieces of nature everywhere. It's not like a concrete jungle. But then I discovered soil pollution, and my world just turned around. Because Flanders historically is a prosperous area because of the industry over here. This is the side effect, and this is something that we all need to come together now to help clean, whether in Belgium or in the rest of the world. I was just blown away by the scale of the pollution. And the thing is, we don't see it. It's like with the CO2 emissions, we don't see them in the air, so we don't realize how urgent things are. And it's the same with the soil pollution. It's invisible, but it goes in our food, it goes in our body, it goes in nature and contaminates everything, and has really large societal costs, including health, including nature loss, including the cleanups. And we were talking a lot with Frederick. He was updating me on his progress, sharing a groundbreaking pilot in Antwerp to clean forever chemicals with plants. And at some point I remembered I heard Boyan Slaat speak on stage in Amsterdam about the ocean cleanup, and everything just came together. You know, it was like this magical aha moment. And don't think that it was like I knew what I wanted to do. It took me years to figure this out, but when everything came together, it was like, that's it. We need to create the largest soil and CO2 cleanup. We need to do the next ocean cleanup, but for soils on land. And that's how we came up with the concept of Earth Plus and the crazy bold mission to create the largest soil cleanup, and started working on it. You know, I joined Frederick and his team and the partners, and it was just amazing. It felt amazing to be surrounded by people who really have bold ideas and bold missions, and be one of them, you know, people that really, really truthfully want to make this world a better place. Um, I can't even describe that feeling, but it was a completely different reality. It was like being put in an environment where you know you can do this, because you're surrounded by people who also know they can do that, and you know together we will do anything to achieve that. Um, but today I also want to share with you a learning point that I discovered in that journey, and it's something that nobody tells you when you quit your corporate job and embark on a journey of entrepreneur. I was under a misconception that when I quit MasterCard, I'm going to go out there in the world, I'm going to make lots of impact immediately, you know, immediately all over the world. And with being surrounded by, you know, climate news and the urgency of action, that's what we all want to do, right? We want to solve it as soon as possible on a large scale. That's why also a mission of Earth Plus to create the largest soil into cleanup with and CO2 cleanup with nature, because that's the scale of action that we need. And I wanted to go out there and make that impact, but that's not how it works. At the beginning of the journey, the only thing that you focus on doing is telling the story and sharing the solution and getting people on board. It's selling your story and getting the buy-in from everyone to go ahead on that story. So you need to be so much in love with that story, and 100, 200, 1000% sure in what you're doing, because you're gonna have to repeat that story 100,000, maybe a million times. And when you repeat it, you still have to have the sparkles in your eyes. You still have to believe in it fully. And before I started Earth Plus, I felt it was the only thing I wanted to work on. Like it was something I haven't believed more in my life ever. And to this day, quite a few months ahead, this is still the story that I believe beyond anything. The urgency of it, because it helps us restore our health, it helps us to eat healthy food, it also helps us sequester CO2, and it helps us to work together with nature to solve all of that, because nature has the solutions, let's face it. Nature is maybe smarter than us. It's been doing this for so many years. We just have to work together, we just have to give nature a helping hand. And I still have sparkles in my eyes, and I'm still in awe whenever I go in the fields, whenever I see our partners sharing the projects, whenever I see smiles on their faces when they're amazed at how plants can grow so fast and how they can clean the pollution and how they can capture CO2 from the air. The most powerful carbon capture machines, right? So for me, it's still my most favorite story. I can still go out there, talk at events, have 1000 calls with different people, and I'm still in love with it because I truly believe in it. But it takes time to get everyone on board. It takes time to attract partners, to attract finances, to implement the vision and start doing these projects on a large scale. So I hope maybe that you won't have to face that. And if you decide to make that jump, you're gonna have all the resources that you need and all the support that you need to immediately start going out there and doing impact, positive impact. But for most of us, that's not the case. For most of us, it's telling that story over and over and over and over again, and falling even more deeply in love into it. And as you see more people joining your vision, it's even more exciting, because you're like, I'm onto something. We are so desperate these days for solutions. There are so many bad climate news. We're breaking the records, especially in 2023, by an enormous margin. And everyone wants hope, everyone wants action, everyone wants solutions. And people want to support you. That's the beauty of it. We are at the stage where people want to support the solutions. And it's beautiful to see partners join in, other people supporting us in that vision and making that vision a reality. And I'm really, 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 truly grateful for that experience. And I'm convinced, and I already know that for next year we're gonna have so many more large-scale projects than this year. We just have to be a little bit patient and focus on telling that story a little bit more. But I wanted to share that discovery and insight with you guys. Maybe some of you are thinking of doing something different and embarking on an entrepreneurial journey, or even doing something on the side while having your corporate job. I wanted to share that insight because maybe it will help some of you to go ahead and to make the jump, or to see what are kind of things that are important to take into consideration when you're doing something. So that was the main idea that I wanted to share with you today. And I want to thank you all for being a wonderful, amazing, supportive community. Several years ago, haven't dreamed of having such a supportive community. And in the last days, when I had calls with a lot of sustainability managers to fine-tune and understand whether the services we're planning to roll out with Earth Plus are actually valuable for companies, I had so much response, and so many people were really willing, just out of kindness and openness, to support and to share, that I'm really grateful. And I want to give back. I want to share that journey to help maybe as many people as I can. So if you find, this is the first time for me, right? So if you find this insightful, please help me spread the word. Maybe share it with someone who needs to hear this today. If you want me to talk about different other topics, write them in comments. I'm gonna check them out, and I'm gonna make sure that my next videos really address them. So be very open. Feel free to ask any questions. This is a safe space. I want this to be a safe space for everyone. So share them in comments. If you would like to support Earth Plus Vision, please follow us on LinkedIn. Check out our website. We are planning a major revamp. I'm not going to open all the news right now, but we are going to take quantum leaps forward. So follow our journey on LinkedIn, check out our projects, and see how that goes. And this video series, I started my YouTube channel. So if you don't want to miss anything, if you feel like it's valuable, subscribe to it. I also share my 1-minute sustainability news there on a weekly basis. I split them up into versions. Only the good news, if you don't want to see the gloom, but just feel hope and action, and the full versions for those that want to see both the good things and what we still need to work on. And I plan to develop that content and keep sharing those videos with you. So for now, that's it. Thank you very much. Big love to you wherever you are in this world, and I truly believe that together we can restore our beautiful planet.